Hey, so you're trying to figure out the whole slow cooker versus pressure cooker thing, huh? It's a classic kitchen dilemma. I mean, they both seem to do a similar job, making food tender and delicious, but they couldn't be more different in how they get there. The way I see it, one is all about patience and low-key flavor development, while the other is a high-speed, get-it-done-now machine. It's really about your lifestyle, your schedule, and, what kind of meal you're trying to make. Let's break it down.
Cooking method. All right, so the core difference is right here in the cooking method. A slow cooker, well, it's just what it sounds like. It cooks things slowly over many hours using a gentle, consistent heat. It's basically a modern-day crock pot, a ceramic or porcelain insert surrounded by a heating element. The lid just sits on top, letting a little bit of steam escape. This method is all about time. It gives those flavors, the onions, the garlic, the herbs, hours to get to know each other, to really meld together and create something deep and rich. Like a classic beef stew that tastes like it's been simmering all day. A pressure cooker, on the other hand, is a completely different beast. It's built for speed. It's a sealed pot, and once it comes up to temperature, it traps the steam inside. That steam creates pressure, which raises the boiling point of the water inside. And when water boils at a higher temperature, it cooks food way faster. It's science, Instead of hours, you're talking minutes. It's about leveraging physics to get a meal on the table in record time.
Speed and time. So let's talk about the clock, because that's probably the most obvious difference. The slow cooker is for a different kind of day. It's for the day you get up, toss everything in the pot before you leave for work, and come home to a finished meal. You're not waiting on it. It's working for you in the background. A pot roast might take 6 or 8 hours. A chili, same thing. It's the ultimate set it and forget it appliance. The pressure cooker is the opposite. It's for when you've had a crazy day and you need dinner on the table like now. You can take something that would normally take 2 hours on the stovetop and have it done in under an hour. Think about dried beans. They can take forever to cook. A pressure cooker, 30 minutes, maybe less. It's a lifesaver for last-minute meal prep.
Energy consumption. This one's a little tricky, but let me explain. A slow cooker has a low wattage, so it doesn't draw a lot of power at any given moment. But because it's on for so long, say 8 hours, the total energy consumed can add up. It's a long, slow burn. A pressure cooker, especially an electric one, uses a lot more power when it's on, but it's only on for a short time. So, overall, for a single meal, a pressure cooker is actually more energy efficient. It's a burst of energy for a short period rather than a trickle for a long one. So, if you're thinking about your electric bill, the pressure cooker might be the winner here. Flavor and texture. Okay, this is where things get interesting. The flavor from a slow cooker is just deeper. The long cooking time allows starches to break down, sugars to caramelize, and flavors to really marry. The result is a richer, more complex taste. It's the kind of flavor you get from a pot of soup that's been simmering all afternoon. The texture is usually fall-off-the-bone tender. The downside? Sometimes certain vegetables, I'm looking at you carrots, can get a little mushy if you're not careful. The pressure cooker, because it cooks so fast, retains a lot of the original flavor and vibrant color of the ingredients. The food tastes fresh. You can make a chicken breast in 10 minutes that is incredibly juicy. But some people argue that the flavor isn't as developed. It's a different kind of delicious, I guess. It's a clean, pure flavor, not a slow, simmered, complex one. And the texture? It gets meat incredibly tender too, but it does it so quickly that vegetables, they hold their shape better.
Versatility. Well, here's what matters. A slow cooker is kind of a one-trick pony. It cooks slowly. That's its job. Some models have a keep warm setting, which is nice, but that's about it. It's not a frying pan, it's not a steamer, it's just a slow cooker. A pressure cooker,
especially the modern electric ones, is a lot more versatile. Many of them are multi-cookers. They can saute, steam, cook rice, and sometimes even make yogurt. You can brown your meat in the same pot you're going to pressure cook it in, which is a huge bonus. Less cleanup, that's always a good thing, right? Cost and space. All right, let's talk money and real estate on your countertop. A basic slow cooker is generally cheaper. You can get a perfectly good one for under $50. They're also usually a bit smaller, so they don't take up as much space. Pressure cookers, especially the electric multi-cooker ones, are more expensive. You're paying for all that technology and versatility. They can also be a bit bulkier, but for what you get, the all-in-one functionality, a lot of people think it's worth the extra cost and space.
Safety. Okay, so I remember the old stovetop pressure cookers. They were a little intimidating. A hissing pot on the stove, a little jiggling weight on top. You had to pay attention. But modern electric pressure cookers, they have so many safety features built in. They won't start if the lid isn't locked properly. They regulate the pressure automatically. You still have to be careful when you release the steam, but it's pretty straightforward. A slow cooker, it's about as safe as it gets. You plug it in, you turn it on, and you walk away. It operates at such a low temperature that there's very little risk. It's the ultimate peace of mind appliance.
Batch cooking and meal prep. Here's a thought. Slow cookers are fantastic for meal prep. You can make a huge batch of chili, shredded chicken, or pulled pork on a Sunday. It's easy to just dump everything in and let it cook while you do other things. A lot of models have large capacities, which makes them perfect for feeding a crowd or for having leftovers for days. The food tends to hold up well in the fridge, and the flavors can even get better overnight. Pressure cookers can also be used for batch cooking, but in a different way. Since they're so fast, you can make multiple dishes in one afternoon. You could cook a batch of rice in 10 minutes, a pot of beans in 30, and then move on to a stew. It's less about letting one thing cook all day and more about quickly getting multiple components ready to go. The downside is you have to be more hands-on, managing each batch separately.
So, which is better? So, bottom line, it's not about which one is better. It's about what you need. If you're a planner, if you love the idea of coming home to a hot home-cooked meal, and you're a fan of those deep, slow-cooked flavors, the slow cooker is your best friend. It's the patient, reliable workhorse of the kitchen. But if you're a bit more spontaneous, or if you're just really short on time, the pressure cooker is a game changer. It's the kitchen superhero swooping in to save dinner in a fraction of the time. Ultimately, they're both great tools. It just depends on what problem you're trying to solve. And honestly, a lot of people have both, because some days you just want a low and slow stew, and other days you need dinner like 5 minutes ago.